the early days when he was saying the round that he was going to beat people.
I know,
and it was right.
Awesome to watch.
Yeah, man. You know, he's talking about fighting Kamaru Usman. Like, ooh, be careful what you ask for.
Really?
Be careful what you ask for. Usman is a big man, and he is top of the food chain right now.
Right.
That's the best pound-for-pound fighter alive is Kamaru Usman, and he's a natural 170. You got to remember, Conor McGregor won the title at 145.
Fucking hell, that's small.
And then he went up to 155, and he knocked out Eddie Alvarez. He became the champ. So he's consecutive, concurrent, holding 2 titles concurrently. And then he fought at 170, but he fought Cowboy Cerrone, who's a natural 155-pounder. And, you know, no knock on Cowboy. And Cowboy's beat a lot of good 170-pounders. He's an elite fighter. Usman's a different thing. That's a different peak. There's no oxygen at the top of that mountain. Shit. You know, that's as good as it gets ever at 170. I would put Kamaru Usman up against any 170-pound fighter that's ever lived. I mean, I'm not saying that he would beat Georges St. Pierre. I'm not saying he would beat all of them, but he might beat all of them. He might be the best it's ever been at 170. He's as good as they get. He's got ferocious knockout power. He's elite at wrestling. Nobody puts him on his back. Colby Covington got a very quick takedown. Daniel Cormier called it a takedown. He's a world-class wrestler. He says it's a takedown. I say it's a take. The only guy's ever, but it was very quick. And Usman right back up to his feet. What
about Khabib?
The wrestling, well, that's a different weight class.
Oh, it is.
Khabib's 155.
See? Me being an idiot again.
No, say you're not an idiot. Just to add a question. But Kamaru is as good as anybody has ever been at 170, and he also has one-punch knockout power. You know, he knocked out Jorge Masvidal with one punch, and Jorge was thought to be the striker in that fight. Kamaru was thought to be, you know, the well-rounded fighter who's a great striker and a great wrestler. But you would think that if the advantage existed for Masvidal, it would be as a striker. And then Usman shut the lights out with one shot. Just the cleanest right hand I think anybody's ever thrown in the history of the sport. It was so clean that Masvidal was unconscious as he was going down, and his face bounces off Kamaru's shoulder.
Oh, shit.
Like thunk, like as he's going out. It was crazy. Because you would think that Kamaru would have an advantage in the fight overall because he's the best. And they fought before, and he had dominated him in a decision. But Masvidal had his moments in the striking. But Kamaru is so good and so dedicated, and his mind is so fucking strong that he got so much better in the striking that he knocked him out standing in the next fight. And he's still getting better. He's still getting better.
The strong mind is the key?
It's everything. The mind is that, well, you have to have the body. Because if you have a strong mind, a bullshit body.
Yeah, right.
There's nothing you do. But Kamaru has both. I mean, look at his body. He's about as shredded as any man.
Let's get up pictures of blokes. I want to see some shredded dudes.
He's got as good a body as you could ever have. I mean, he's fucking shredded at 170 pounds. I mean, look at him. He's fucking jacked. And he's about perfect for 170 in terms of like his dimensions. He's just tall enough, just strong enough. There's like a thing where like all the pieces have to be in place, especially in the UFC because there's so many weight classes. But the space in between the weight classes is so big. Like the gap between 155 and 170 is 15 pounds. That's a lot, man.
That's a lot. I'm 15 pounds overweight right now. It's a lot.
But I mean, you're talking about 15 pounds of lean muscle and bone.
Right.
You know, imagine 15 beautiful cowboy cut ribeyes. That's the advantage that Usman has in like power. And it's not like he's slow. He's got great speed. It's to be a great fighter, all the pieces have to be in place. You have to have amazing genetics. You have to have a superior work ethic. You have to have crazy discipline, and you have to have a mind. The strength of the mind is so important. The ability to overcome, the ability to figure out what to do in times of peril. When things go sideways, how do you adjust? What decisions do you make? Whether you have any give up in you. Some people have a little give up in them. Yeah. You just have to find what's that threshold.
Right.
People have made Conor give up. They've made him tap.
Yep.
You know, he's tapped. Nobody's made Usman tap except one time. One time, the second fight of his career. He got caught in a rear naked choke and he got tapped out. But, you know, he was new. He was beginning, and, you know, it was like tap or nap. Like, take a choice. He got caught. He got caught in a rear naked choke and it was perfect. And, you know, anybody's ever been caught in a rear naked choke and it's perfect, you know, like, you're not getting out. and he wasn't good enough at jiu-jitsu at that time to get out. But since then, he smashed everybody. Yeah. He was the guy that when he was running through opponents on his way to the title, everybody was calling everybody out. I don't want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight guy. They never said his name. Nobody said Kamaru's name. Nobody's like, give me Usman. Like, what? People would go, what the fuck are you saying?
And was he sitting there going, how come no one's calling me out? I need these fights.
100%.
Need these fights, you pussies. Come on.
When I would talk to him, when I would interview him after fights, like he was calling everybody out. He was the Nightmare. I mean, that's his nickname. Right. He's the Nigerian Nightmare. That was what he really is. He was the Nightmare because everybody was like, let me get to the title before he comes there. Like, let me get a title.
Let me get a taste before he comes in too hard.
Just give me a piece. Because there's guys that are so good. They're so good that you really don't know who's going to be able to beat them.